Did you queue up the 96 Bulls theme song?
We're here. No, I didn't do anything. Hello, everyone. Oopsie.
Howdy, folks.
Hi, everybody.
Hey.
How you doing?
Hey.
Where's
I'm
my
podcasting here.
dad? Hey. What are you doing over there?
This is all really offensive to me.
Ah. We are all canceled.
I'm actually 1/32 Italian.
It's okay then.
Permitted.
He's got the pasta in his blood.
Marinara flows through me.
Hello, everybody. We have a what was the term? Super special guest.
Yes.
That's me.
That's Frank. We are contractually obligated to refer to him as that. So we did it.
Damn straight.
And we have no sponsor because we lost all our money at the casino last week. But look who decided to show up!
I managed to not go to the casino for like 3 days in a row so far. I've just humbly collected my daily, little, what's the word, allowance, and that's all. I've just done that and building up a nest egg. And when we release those Ernie Bucks prizes, I'm gonna blow that all. But for
Can
now,
you ask the chat if they like bananas or peanuts better?
Strawberry.
Strawberry.
Frank said
Yeah.
strawberry.
the guest
It's cool, but look at peanut.
I see one for nut.
Wait, let's see peanut. Oh, peanut is a very nice orange.
Yeah.
I'm
You know what?
mint.
Dr. Frank spoke. I'm picking
Yeah,
strawberry.
chat's saying strawberry.
Yeah, you
and
gotta.
nuts. So strawberry nuts.
To not pick strawberry would be to deny our guest his title of very special.
Very, very, very special.
What are these Ernie Bucks prizes you all are talking about?
Oh, they're cooking. They're cooking up. You'll just have to wait to see.
It's in the oven.
Hey, all I'm gonna say is, don't
Fresh-baked
bet
cookies.
all on a coin flip. If you got a lot of money, save it up.
That's right. And I will buy them all. And I will
Many
not
people have lost fortunes already, and our Italian correspondent will be coming to
Oh
collect.
my god. I'm Jeff.
Yeah.
Nice.
My name Jeff.
Get your bottle rockets ready.
You know I gotta be Pooh.
See you in the last quarter of the game.
I just
Have we-
want. Oh,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead. No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say, have we
Completely
determined how good Pico is at video games yet? I'm curious what the chat's perspective is on
That is a good
Pico's
I'm
gaming.
better than me, is what I will say. From what I've gathered.
Pretty good.
You did good on Super Mario World, though, and I saw you do that.
Yeah, that's the only game I can play. So.
Oh.
That's your party trick, is playing Super Mario World.
Yeah, pretty much. Literally, I think I 100%ed it during a party once.
I mean, why not? Also, to anyone watching who doesn't know, our super special guest is wanna trade pants on the Instagrams. Post pictures every day.
Thanks for the free plug. I really appreciate it.
You need it. So
Go
that's all
follow
you want to
him.
know. That's who this
Comment
guest is.
Comment on his posts offering promotion.
Yeah.
Actually, if you guys could actually comment on them, you could say anything. Like, you could just say hi.
DM for promo.
That'd be awesome.
I will seriously comment on your some weird ass shit. Why, you just need like to pump the algorithms?
No, I'm just so sick of spam
spam.
comments. I want
Yeah.
to see real ones.
That's why I respond to
I'm
Aaron
getting on your Instagram.
and just say one word things. Like sunk.
5 fire emojis.
So go to Wanna Trade Pants on Instagram and comment on every single picture that you can see. Blow up Frank's phone right now.
Not to be confused with wanna trade plants, of course.
No, we could never. I mean, we
I was
have.
gonna say, I was gonna wish everyone a happy International Women's Day.
Happy International Women's Day to all.
Good day
All
to
the
be
women
alive.
composers out there.
That's it.
Yeah. We got a heavy schedule for tonight, so we gotta be moving forward with our topic. Take us away, Alex.
Oh, what is our topic? Our topic is
Alex is here. What?
Wait, is
Oh,
it real Alex or is it
No, it's not the
doppelganger
Walkman.
Alex? That was traumatizing. I lost my ability to trust after that voice chat.
Last week was
I don't-
confusing.
So what is our topic today? Our topic today is
You say
Did you
it,
buy
Matt?
I've been
Beautiful
away.
Joe? Which one of you guys got Beautiful Joe?
Which one?
I bought neither, which is unfortunate. 'Cause
Neither?
I love those games, and I just was not quite compelled.
I got one. And then I did buy two, even though I can't stand the art.
I bought 2, and I also that art.
Like, I listened to one and I loved it. I loved all the little like voice lines in between songs and like
Gina Go-Go, baby!
it's so fun. And it's just like, and then I look over at it and like, you again. Oh, you.
I don't feel like I've bought a Ship to Shore release recently. Have they been doing like little like voice lines and like sound clips in their
Mega Man
soundtracks that
Legends
they
didn't
press?
have anything like that. I
Listen
think
to
that
my
was the last
vinyl
one
that I
got.
buy.
I don't think they've been doing a lot of that, so that's why it really kind of caught me off guard. And that's like something I really like.
I didn't
vinyl
get it in
releases.
yet, but I'm looking forward to listening to it.
Where you at, Ship to Shore?
The thing is, like, I missed out on the red, so I had to get the clear, and I'm like, I was so upset that I had to get clear. I don't know why. Like, just for this particular release, like, I really didn't want clear.
When
Yeah, that would have pissed me off.
You think
Very
Beautiful
red-
Joe, you
Very
think
red
red.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ship to Shore at least does clear variants, but they don't do black. Like, I wish they would at least just do black. I don't know.
Like if you got a Sonic game and your variant wasn't blue, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, every Sonic record has to be blue.
Or else.
Or else.
Agreed.
Or Tails or Knuckles.
Just go for it! Does it have that?
I think so. I think it covered most of them.
They should do a HD Beautiful Joe collection.
I'd love that.
I would too.
With
We're doing a lot of HD collections. Advanced Wars is getting one, which I never ever
No.
fucking thought would
It's
get
like
one.
completely remade.
Yeah.
I think there's a good HD texture pack for Beautiful Joe.
I'll have to check that one out then. After listening to that, I wanted to play it, but
But I feel like being Capcom, that's something that could very well get done
for sure.
officially.
I loved Beautiful Joe. I really haven't played it since it came out, but I remember I did play both of them, and I remember it being like a sensory overload sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was just pure insanity. And sometimes I would lose track of what was going on, but I loved the
Absolutely.
art.
And
I
it,
think
like,
it
it
was-
was its own kind of thing that really wasn't like anything else with all of its mechanics at that time. So and the style on top of it was just so good. So
I
campy
think that was
good.
one of the only games I ever rented from those game rental services that were big back when like that game was released, like GameFly, I think
Yeah.
it was called. I may have kept it. Maybe that's why I don't have the subscription anymore. I don't know, but it was just
You might still owe a late fee for it. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, what I'm trying to say is I hope GameFly is now a defunct company.
It is not.
You're
Oh,
under
no.
arrest.
Can we reset the episode? Nuke the VOD.
Anyone watching after today, do not talk about Aramis having Beautiful Joe, or you're in trouble.
I hear
There, you're covered.
I hear the news team has a hit list they're creating on me, and I just further incriminate myself every day.
Someone's gonna email Gamefly. Aramis has Beautiful Joe, and they'll just be like,
think-
"What?"
I think it's gone now, honestly. I think I said this before, but the last games I still had were like a handful of GameCube games that I had traded for Final Fantasy IX box set. And I think that was the last of my physical editions that I'll probably ever own, honestly.
Of games in general?
Of game, yeah. I'm just
You don't have any games?
no. I mean, I download them. Digital,
Oh.
baby. It's the future.
You're all
Oh.
digital now.
Is that frowned upon?
Yup.
I don't.
I
think
don't
so.
know.
Is it cringe?
Probably not. Probably not.
I
I'm
don't.
cringing right now.
I don't mind emulating games. I don't mind downloading
No,
my
I
Switch
I,
games.
I do it all the time. I mean, I own a lot of games, but I use emulation a lot too.
We all
Oh,
have.
not even
Hold on.
new games though.
I'd like to clarify. We all own physical copies of the games we emulate.
Exactly. That's what I
yeah.
mean. That's what I was getting at.
Right. Just to
My
clarify.
land.
Yeah. So, no one can be upset.
He
There's
goes
nothing
from-
better than pulling on your cartridge, blowing into that dusty ass shit, and like playing the odds of getting it to turn on, and the smell and the look.
Can you show us your complete in-box copy of Earthbound, Pico? I want to make sure this is a legitimate operation here.
I do not have a complete inbox copy.
I have it, so you can mooch
See,
off of
there
mine.
we go. We're
Grace down my back.
yeah.
The collective. It's the podcast fund bought that actually.
Yeah.
We're working towards getting partners so we can have a collective fund of games to emulate.
Yeah, we got
Honestly,
this-
I don't even know if my Earthbound is real. Do you ever just like buy a game and you're like, that was a good deal?
Maybe
I
And then just
literally-
get sussed out.
Back when I bought games, like I don't even know how many bootlegs were even like circulating back then, because
that's my
'cause I
thing,
feel
too.
I haven't bought a Super Nintendo game in like 15 years or something.
I rebought my copy back in like 2007, I want to say, from when I was a kid. And I always sussed out because it was such a clean copy of it.
No writing
Yeah,
on it.
honestly, I don't even know what to look for.
I think I just got to open it up.
Yeah,
For
I-
Game Boy, I have this like cartridge reader to like rip flashes and stuff, and it'll just tell you if the card is like Chinese card or a real one.
This is American made, brother.
I mean, if the cart plays as it should, is it really that big a deal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, for reselling it is, but for owning,
I would
What-
feel dirty owning it. That's just me.
If I never knew, I don't care.
Wait. So, you guys are against bootleg video games, but
No, not at all. But it's not the same.
I don't have any horse in this race.
To trick you.
I like repro
That's the
cards, but the
thing.
boards that they're built with is different, and the resistors and stuff are different, and there can be a timing issue.
So are
Fair enough.
are repro cards typically like bad? Do they not play well?
Some of the more worse cards. Wow, that was the worst grammar I've ever said in my life. Some of the worst cards will degrade over time, and the chips won't save anymore, and like because a lot of them are flash based now, and the
Isn't
memory's built on the
flash-based
board.
better?
Yeah, but bad chips, really cheap chips from China, will just degrade and just break themselves. So you only can really flash ever like one or twice on it. You can't like keep reflashing them. But they're
Real
like
quick.
literally the boards are like, you can buy a repro cart off AliExpress for like $7. Okay, then you have that board and you can flash whatever game you want to that board now. But you only can do it a couple times before you break the board.
Do you die in the first fight of the game?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I haven't fought anybody. And it's like an
Speaking
auto
of,
fight.
Of fake games. You
Oh
guys
my god, did I die?
I don't know. I wasn't paying attention.
Neither
I
was
saw
I.
you fighting a dog, and then you weren't fighting the dog anymore.
Wait,
And you
who
went
was
in the house
watching the
again.
stream?
I wasn't paying attention really.
Who's paying attention to the game? Because none of us are.
Up. Okay, so that was weird. Yeah.
So clip it and ship it.
I don't know. Fuck it. I'll
Are
watch
you,
it
are you
tomorrow.
using save state, load states?
No, I'm just literally not looking at the screen and it's mashing A.
Just jamming the A button.
I mean, what else can you do at this point? So.
You guys
I'm
know
watching
about the
on this.
What?
What's up?
So I was gonna say, like, do you guys know about the anti-piracy stuff in Earthbound? Like how crazy it is?
Yes. But go off. Tell the whole world.
Now I feel like a lot of people know already, but I
Alright.
just find it really funny.
Is it something with one of the bosses that like
It like,
fucks you up harder or something?
multiplies all the enemies by like I don't even know how much, but it just makes the game super super hard. And then like during the final boss, there's a I won't spoil anything, but there's a part where a character is talking to you, and the game will always crash there and erase your entire game.
That rocks.
It's
What is
crazy,
going on
dude.
here?
Maybe you're
Oh,
playing the.
I didn't
bootleg
grab my
version.
dog from the house.
Wait,
That's
Maybe
why I'm
you
fucking up. Barely.
Miraculous.
Ass realized the power of life up, baby. I gotta get my fucking dog, Hot Joey.
Joey,
Joey is our
Wake your ass up, Hot Joe.
dog.
Yes, I do.
this episode's great.
On another hot
Ah,
Joey,
Joey
where
joins
is
us.
he tonight? We
He said he was
missed
at
out.
an Animal Collective concert.
Animal Collective.
Which is what we were gonna base this episode off of, but
Animal Collective. We're doing a deep dive into Panda Bear, Avery Tear.
not sure.
How many fucking side shoots?
Person
There's so
pitch is
many.
awesome.
That's why we turned him into a dog in Earthbound, right?
Yeah.
Exactly that.
I listened to the new Animal Collective album and I enjoyed it.
Someone else said they were going to a really good show too. Cody, maybe? I can't remember now.
Lots of the
Dua Lipa
pre-hosts.
or something?
Oh yeah, he's saying Dua. God damn it! I wish I could be seeing that.
It's not music, but I'm gonna go see Everything Is Terrible on Thursday.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I haven't seen them since
go-
2012. Yeah,
What's the format for Everything Is Terrible events? So that I know one time when I went, it was like a drive-in theater, and it was just like playing stuff of theirs.
yeah, they're mostly playing. Like they had a big like live shtick when they did the Doggy Woggies Poochie Woochies tour, or like they had costumes and like live events in between, or like little live skits in between the videos they'd show. But it would normally be like some live. I can't even remember what they did live, but it would just be like little skits interspersed with about 10 or 20 minutes worth of video going on.
How many contributors or like main contributors are there to Everything Is Terrible?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't either.
Large collective to me.
Uh-huh.
I think
Never
like
actually fully researched them beyond just like seeing their material and knowing that they're really into like Creative Commons and fair use stuff. And so I've heard one guy really speak at length to that. But as far as members in the group, I don't know.
yeah, originally I think it was like a few people who founded it, but I'm sure it's like quite an ordeal at this point with like the types of like the shows they put on and and just their longevity. I just imagine they probably gained quite a few hands on board.
This is like one of the best tracks in the game about to come.
Which one?
Do I switch?
When Buzz Buzz shows up.
When he's like telling the story and it's like that kind of chill song.
Yeah, I used to have it as like my alarm clock.
Very charming.
Oh, hi, Peter. Peter's in the chat. How about that?
I'm sure there's people in the server who saw the Scott Pilgrim show, right? On
Oh
Monoguchi.
yeah.
I really wanted to see that, but
There's a handful that we saw at least on Facebook, so I could imagine some of them.
I've only seen the Zelda.
Was Anamanaguchi recent? Their shows they're
Yeah.
I
playing?
mean,
They're,
it's
like, still
happening
going
right
on.
now, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
right. That's as we speak, perhaps.
Maybe.
I didn't realize that. There's
But
also-
what a good idea for a concert. Like, it seems like it would be really fun.
Roll Tanks Roll said it was a fantastic concert, so there's one. We got him.
I would love to hear those songs live.
Have any of you guys been to any like video game, like adjacent or video game
Well,
shows?
Pika just said he went to the Symphony of the Goddess one.
Yeah, I almost cried. It was awesome. But you know
I've
when
been
like
to-
nerds like, you know when there's people who like love something so much and they like show it like outwardly like
It's like soy
crazy
facing everywhere.
that you don't feel like you're that big of a fan. Well, you're like, I love this a lot in my life, but like
Yeah.
not to the level of what this guy does. So there was a lot of that. Like everybody was just surrounding me, was like to the teeth Zelda. It was humming the songs. It was a little overwhelming.
Yeah, I saw Symphony of the Goddess. It was an outdoor event, and it was great.
Yeah, all the songs were awesome. The accompanying video was cool.
Yeah,
Mine,
I've
they
seen
did it for
bits of the
Symphony of the
game.
Goddess, which is by far my all-time favorite Zelda soundtrack. Skyward Sword literally is peak Zelda music. In my opinion, Breath of the Wild went down just because it's not as iconic as Skyward Sword. Peak fucking Zelda music.
Those are they like live? Are they full? Probably a stupid question, but are they full symphonies?
Yeah, as a whole orchestra.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Then
Yeah.
I guess they're what like music halls typically, but sometimes in like bigger like
Yeah.
outdoor spaces.
Mine was at Chicago Theater, which is probably the best venue in the city. Has like the best sound.
I've never gone to any like bona fide like video game music events, if you will, like that. Everything in my life was always like Nintendo Core type shit, like all like metal adjacent stuff, like Horse the Band or Genghis Tron, things like that, which have their own charm, but you know, pretty different ballpark. I feel like than like whole like orchestral arrangements of beloved video game soundtracks.
Very nostalgic.
Yeah, I saw Symphony of the Goddess. I saw the Pokemon Symphony one.
That would be badass.
Yeah, I saw that in New York. It was really cool. And I also saw Distant Worlds. And when I saw Distant Worlds, it was right around when Final Fantasy XIV came out, the Realm Reborn version. So I felt like it was very, very 14 heavy, which I wasn't thrilled about because I hadn't played 14,
Mm-hmm.
but it was still really enjoyable.
Okay,
That
so
makes
this
sense
might
because
be
they're
a
probably
demo.
like promoting 14.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
They're like, if
they
you
wanted
like
to play what was hot at the time.
if you like orchestral symphonies, you might like an MMO RPG game.
Yeah, I don't think they had to advertise Final Fantasy at the Final Fantasy concert.
Alright, Dan, you're gonna love grinding and collecting incremental upgrades for your characters.
That's what it's all
just-
about.
it's gonna be a riot for you if you like this.
What were you about to say, Alex? I heard you.
So this may be a dumb question, but like I've never actually researched what the Distant Worlds soundtracks are. I imagine they were just like orchestral arrangements of songs, but they it seems like they come out in new volumes periodically. So
Just add more and more to their repertoire, and then
okay.
like when you go to one of the shows, it's kind of like you don't know what you're gonna get.
Typically, like,
so the
Sanction.
records are basically like that, like just more Final Fantasy music.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Oh, and so just like the records are just the like the orchestral recordings.
Yeah, oh, I mean that they do studio recordings for the albums.
Okay. It's just one thing I always see pop up, and it's just like I've tuned them out because the album covers all look so samey that I
Yeah,
just never bothered looking
like-
into them.
Like when you're on Pop Psych trying to find a Final Fantasy boot, and all you can find is Distant Worlds. And that's what
yeah. The
happened to me.
presentations are kind of boring, but they're all good albums.
They used to be hard to find, but they've been putting them out pretty frequently.
I love Pokey's dad, by the way. He's one of my favorite characters.
Aloysius Minch. That was the best name. How the fuck are they just gonna go ahead and just kill Buzz? Like, this game would be vastly different if he was alive. That's like the guy coming back to save your life in Terminator, and then like him just dying right a fucking way.
Look, the
I
whole
just-
story couldn't have happened if Buzz was alive.
I-
Buzz needs to die.
I love the fact that Ness's father is just borrowing like crazy amount of money from Pokey's family and just giving it to you throughout the whole game
Yeah,
for no real reason. It's just like one of the funniest concepts to me. Like that's why they hate you and your family.
I love how wacky this game is.
Yeah, Earthbound's pretty cool. Speaking of cool games, I have a promo code that I'm gonna put up for the casino.
Oh my god, what? I'm in the middle of streaming.
I'll make
Everybody knows how addicted I am to the casino.
I'll make it 35 minutes then, so when we're done, you can you can do it.
Yes.
All right. We got a casino promo code. The promo is "Wanna trade pants."
Oh,
Oops.
That is not.
That's not going to help them, is it?
That will not help them. That is how I set things up.
I'm just trying to help everyone. Ignore me. Ignore my wanton disregard for the rules.
Oh jeez. Is the bot okay? Alright, things are going smooth. So that was cool. I didn't fucking transition. There we go. Most professional podcast. That's our sponsor. Is
By the
promo
way,
code.
number one video
Absolutely.
game podcast.
Number one.
Number one
Well,
video game
Video
podcast.
game vinyl podcast. Let's not say things we don't mean yet. We'll
I
get
think we're
there.
branching out.
I mean,
talked-
fight
we're
me,
working
other
on it.
podcasts.
We talked about Earthbound. That's a video game.
Name
We weren't
one-
talking
name
about the
one.
music.
Name one video game.
We talked about Earthbound. We talked about Mother 2,
Oh, okay, that is 2 games.
the sequel to Earthbound Beginnings.
Earthbound
You know
4.
what? They put Mother 1 on Switch, but I think it would have been really cool if they made it like a better version of Mother 1, like one you could like fast forward and stuff like that.
Anything better for that game?
Because that game's kind of unbearable to play.
That game
As
is
much as
rough.
I love the Mother series.
Yeah. Like the
Is
only
that the
way...
general feeling about it? I
think
didn't know
so.
that it was that strongly disliked.
It's a rough game.
But It's not strongly disliked, but yeah, it's very rough around the edges. I don't think they really knew what they were doing when they were making that game. I think, like, and the same thing was kind of happening with Earthbound in the beginning of its development, but then they brought Iwata in, and he kind of just like, saved the game in his own way. Like,
As he did.
Because of the text, they couldn't get the text work to write in the code, and like some of the text in this is weird as fuck from Mr. Saturn's. They couldn't get any of it to work, and he came in and he fixed all the code, and the new text would work.
they talk about it a lot in the Ask Iwata book that came out.
Oh.
Like, he was stressing out because he had to like approach the whole team and be like, "Hey guys, like, I don't know how to say it, but we need to like
Your shit's fucked.
kind of start over on this game that you've been working on for like 2 years."
That's right.
But it turned out great, so
We got a couple people in our waiting room. Can't ask Alex to do it for me tonight.
No, I don't know if I can drag people in on the mobile app. I just have not.
Alex is.
Here, let me pull in Norin. It's been a while since we heard from him.
Norin. We have Norin. Everyone say hi, Norin.
Hi, Norin.
Hi, Norn.
Hey guys.
That means chat too. Thank you. Hey Norin, have you ever seen like a video game adjacent concert or anything to that effect?
No, I
Chip
had
tune
wanted. Yeah, I'd wanted to see. The Final Fantasy VII orchestra that's been going around. I didn't have time when it came near me. Well, relatively near me. But I'd heard that was great.
it seemed like a great one.
I'm
Um,
an adamant like show goer. I see lots of music, and you have these orchestral tours that are just never on my radar. Like, I never hear about them. I think that's a big reason why I personally have never gone to one.
Yeah, that was a big thing. That was a big thing for me too, because they didn't publicize that it was coming somewhat near me at all. It was just kind of more of an addendum to the addendum date. It seemed it was like, yeah, we'll just throw this one in. And
Shit.
it was interesting to see.
Yeah.
I remember hearing about a really lame Final Fantasy VII concert. I think might have been before the remake came out, where it was like they kind of just like played music from the game in between songs, and it was a lot of just like not even an orchestra playing it. Like, you're kind of just watching footage of the game and listening to the soundtrack, like in a big room with a bunch of people.
Ow.
Final Fantasy VII listening party.
Every once in a while, they'd perform like an actual song. I remember reading about this, but I think it was years ago, before the remake even came out. It was for some anniversary of the
Oh,
game.
fuck me. Sorry, a hula hoop man just came out.
Damn. Oh, thanks for the follow, Banana Thunder. I forgot we had those little things on, because it doesn't happen a lot while we're live.
Oh well, you have like the
The
stream
little
elements.
text
Like,
is now following you. Yeah,
when are we gonna get subs for the channel? That's what I want to know.
that's we're gonna fine tune the Twitch channel soon. So
I
We'll
just
be-
realized the background is Final Fantasy VI, right?
yeah, why can't I think of the word? The concert,
The opera part.
the opera. That's the word. Yeah. Because
Okay, I lost all my money at the casino. I'm back now.
as
Thanks for joining us.
as is tradition
Yep.
in the casino.
That promo code lasted a good 3 minutes.
Norin, is there any video game concerts or renditions you would like to see, even ones that like maybe haven't been toured before? Something you think would be particularly
Ooh, what
spectacular?
would be good live? Yeah.
Oh, selfishly, I'd like to hear The Last of Us done. I mean, it wouldn't need an orchestra, but it would be more just kind of like I'd like to hear that done live in some fashion. I know they did some play or something with some of the cutscenes in LA, and it was like a one night only thing. But I wouldn't really want to see that. I'd rather see just the music performed by, like, I'm pretty sure it's a solo banjo player. Some of that would be just interesting to hear live.
You were saying it was like a live cast was doing cutscenes from the play? Or from
Yeah, from what I've heard, it was like the cast, the VAs, and I guess Troy Baker is both. But they had the voice actors come out and perform cutscenes or parts of the cutscenes as like a play.
That's neat.
I didn't know about that. That's really cool.
But yeah, I'd love to hear that. Trying to think, and of course now that I'm thinking about it, it goes completely out of my head.
How far would you travel to see a show like that? Will you travel 3 hours?
Yeah, probably not much more than that though.
That's the limit.
Yeah, well,
That's a fair
here-
limit.
I think
the
so.
Final Fantasy VII one that I was talking about earlier was about, it's like teetering on 3.5, and that was also kind of part of what played into me not wanting to go to it immediately. But yeah, probably 3 hours would be okay for me.
Yeah.
And then I guess some of the other ones, I don't know how you would get it. It would probably be more of a techno thing, but like hearing a Cyberpunk 2077, like hearing some of the Samurai songs performed live would be probably pretty fun.
Didn't they do that, or am I just imagining that there was some performance of?
To be honest, I have no idea. I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest.
Maybe I'm just thinking of all of Keanu's little public appearances.
Yeah, what is it? Oh no, I've forgotten the line. When he was at the video game awards.
Oh, you're amazing. You're gorgeous.
Yeah.
Whatever it was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which they made a trophy in the game because of that.
God bless him.
But yeah, that and probably the Shadow of the Colossus Last Guardian would be cool to hear in orchestral form.
They I think they've done it a few times in Japan. They've had concerts for Eco and Shadow of the Colossus and Last Guardian.
That rocks.
They did it as
Oh my
part of, like,
god.
PlayStation orchestra. They actually did Parappa the Rapper in its entirety orchestrated too.
That's
is
so
really
sick.
cool.
Yeah, they had a show. It was like Parappa the Rappa, Gravity Rush, Ape Escape, like all these Sony
Oh,
properties.
what? That's so fucking cool.
It's really, really good. You could look it up on YouTube. It's just like I don't know what it's called, but it's just like PlayStation Symphony. I think they did it in like 2017, 2018, something like that.
Yeah, that sounds incredibly awesome. I want to hear that.
You know which
Don't
concerts I really love that I totally would have saw if I had the chance? The Splatoon ones
Oh yeah.
with the holograms.
I would fucking
Oh,
die.
yeah, that would be real
Oh,
cool.
yeah, I forgot.
They did a hologram Splatoon concert. Is that what
They
you're
did
saying?
Hatsune Miku
They
type.
did a bunch of them, yeah, like kind of like Hatsune Miku, yeah,
I
with
would absolutely fucking die.
with Callie and Mari and
Curl
Yeah.
and Marina.
Pearl and Marina, yeah, they have
Oh
like
my god.
holograms of them. They have them on. You could buy like the Blu-rays and watch them, and I think Nintendo actually uploaded them on to YouTube
Oh,
too.
shit.
Yeah. See the one I'm looking at? They had KK Slider opening up for a second too. That's
Yeah.
insane.
What?
But those are really, really good. I mean, they have like a live band. They're holograms you're looking at, but they do have like a live band performing the songs, and some of them sound really good live.
That's sweet. I didn't know. Or I guess I didn't think about that. I remember seeing it. If that makes any sense. I'd love to see someone do like an F-Zero live concert.
Yeah, that would be good.
Like a metal show.
So
Those songs
what
go hard.
like the metal F-Zero music, like from F-Zero
I'll
X.
take.
That-
I'll
that'd
take
be sick.
whatever with F-Zero. You know, I'll take jazz. I'll take metal.
Yeah, F-Zero fans are in shambles. I'll take anything.
Yeah, we
just
see
want-
the F-Zero
just-
stage in Mario Kart. And we're like, thank you. This is everything to us.
just a crumb.
What about anyone else? Have any other live concerts they'd like to see happen, even if they can't see them, actually?
Gosh, it's hard to even think. It would be cool that maybe
I mean,
a generic
I'm sorry,
answer,
go
but some of the Persona music or Persona series in live concert would be pretty.
Yeah.
They have done a bunch of those in
Have they?
Japan.
God, yeah, I'm so out of the loop on this this culture, this side of video games.
Right.
Yeah, you could at least watch them. Like, I'm sure there's a bunch of footage on YouTube, and they do sell like Blu-rays and CDs of the performances.
a concert honoring the music of David Wise would be pretty amazing.
I think that'd be
With
That's fun.
David Wise in the concert.
He has to.
Yeah. If he did something where like he was like band leader or something like that, or performer or something like that.
Honoring the art of True Wise, the concert.
That's gonna be a long one.
It's like a PowerPoint presentation.
You can get your own shirts airbrushed there.
It took me a second. I heard David Wise again, and then I processed that one a little bit.
Oh my god!
The wires got crossed with the Wises.
Did I say Drew Wise or did I say David Wise?
You said
You said
David.
David.
Yeah, you said the right.
Okay.
The train that got us on.
Wise. A different strain.
Wise. Yeah. Our sneaky sponsors.
They always find a way.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Norin.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thanks for popping in.
the answers.
Thanks for having me on.
I think it would be appropriate to invite our friend Carrie in here, given
I do believe so.
her
I was
her,
literally about to say that.
experience. Hey, Carrie, are you there?
Hey, what's up?
I saw you typing in chat, and I was like, "You're the only person we should really be talking to right now."
Carrie!
Hey. Yeah, I know I was late joining the chat. Y'all talking about video game orchestras, which is
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
I'm intimately familiar with.
You know
Or
a
like
thing or two about
live shows in general, and yeah, you got a good. I saw you talking about the Pokemon concert.
Oh
I was-
yeah.
I was kind of curious, like I don't know, your experience with that, like as a viewer, but also obviously as a musician as well.
Yeah, so I've been to a couple of like the official Nintendo video game orchestra concerts, and I saw the Pokemon one when that was touring a few years ago for I think the 20th anniversary. And that was really cool. It was Pokemon Symphonic Evolutions, and I thought that was like, at the time it was a very comprehensive like set list that spanned the entire history of the franchise at the time, and it was really cool. The fact that their encore song was like the classic "Gotta Catch 'Em All" anime theme song.
Yeah.
That was really cool because they encouraged the audience to sing along and whatnot.
Yeah, it's the same thing when I went. That was really cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw it in Baltimore. I thought it was great. that and the Zelda concert I thought were both done very well in terms of how those arrangements were done and how they sync the music to the game footage that they have and whatnot. It's a really polished presentation of orchestral video game music, and I hope
Is that
they
a pretty common feature, having like game footage or cutscenes or what have you in the background?
Yeah, at least at the ones that I've gone to, I'm pretty sure they do the same thing at like the Final Fantasy
Yeah.
Distant World stuff. Oh, I've also been to the Kingdom Hearts Orchestra. I forgot
That's what
about that.
I was gonna mention. That would
Yeah, I saw that I guess in like late 2019 in New York, and that was great. I got to meet Yoko Shimomura, which was really cool. Everyone was there getting like Kingdom Hearts stuff signed, and I showed up with a copy of Radiant Historia to get signed instead.
Wait, I have a question about the Kingdom Hearts concert.
Yeah.
Didn't they show like something about the story that like you needed to be at the concert to see?
No, that was so them.
Isn't there something like that where it was
Like,
like you
canon
get
plot
lore to go
details.
to the concert?
Oh my
I
God.
have no idea because like I will freely admit that like I am not a Kingdom Hearts fan. I love the music. I love Yoko Shimomura as a composer. I went basically because a friend of mine like had an extra VIP ticket and was like, "Hey, do you want to go?"
I mean, why not?
Right. So I went. There's a lot of Kingdom Hearts story that is very lost on me. I tried really hard to get into that franchise a few years ago, and I played 1, 2, and Birth by Sleep, and I watched like all the cutscenes from the in-between games, and I probably put like 120, 130 hours into the franchise, only to be like, you know what? I don't like this.
I just
But-
remember seeing an article where it was like, I think this was before Kingdom Hearts 3 came out. Is that right?
Oh yeah, well, no, it was after Kingdom Hearts 3 came out.
Okay, because I
Um,
remember them saying like, if you want see the next part of the story, you got to go to the concert. It's like,
I think they may have previewed some of the stuff from like the DLC from like the Remind DLC, but I don't know. I couldn't tell you for
That
sure.
sounds on brand for Kingdom Hearts.
It's pretty on point for Kingdom Hearts, I think.
Yeah, that's actually very comically adept of them to do something like that. I feel like they
Yeah.
got to be aware of how insane that is at this point.
Yeah, but yeah, video game orchestra shows are super fun. Concerts
did-
of all sorts are very good. So
You mentioned something that I was curious about earlier, as being someone with not a lot of expertise in this area, is that I imagine a good amount, probably like the bigger IPs are probably like sanctioned by Nintendo or whoever. Does it tend to be like a licensed, or I don't even know what the word would be for
so for like my orchestra, we're a nonprofit and we just
Mhm.
sort of do it. No one's ever come after us for anything. We truthfully have not paid any licensing, but that's because we don't make any money off of anything.
all right.
All of our concerts are free. Everything is on YouTube for free. We don't have like albums or anything like that. So, we as the orchestra have not paid any licensing fees for anything, except, certain compositions that we use, we have paid for and like have the performance rights for. But beyond that, it's not like we're paying Nintendo every time we play a Pokemon song or anything
Yeah.
like that.
Right, of
So,
course.
so this
Yeah.
is the ultimate gotcha podcast. We got Aramis with a GameFly, and now Terry with the music rights.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a weird sort of gray area because, like,
Just like
sure,
GameFly.
if they wanted to, they could, come knocking on our door and send us a cease and desist. But they're never going to do that. There
Mhm.
are dozens of community video game orchestras across the country at this point who are all doing stuff like that. and they just, they don't really care.
Yeah.
We're not presenting ourselves as like in any way official or anything like that.
Nintendo ambassadors.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting because like our most recent show, which was called Made in Maryland, we actually worked directly with the team at Firaxis Games, which does Civilization and XCOM and that stuff, and they actually provided us with arrangements, like the official
Hell
scores
yeah.
and whatnot.
Oh, that's super cool.
So our
That's badass.
Civilization stuff, our Civ 5 and Civ 6 pieces were given to us by the composers and arrangers directly from Firaxis. Our Kingdoms of Amalur piece was given to us directly from Grant Kirkhope, which was really cool.
That's super badass.
Yeah.
That's insanely cool. What's I don't know if I may ask, what's the process for that like? Is it just you reach out and like, hey, we're doing this thing?
Yeah,
Or-
that's sort of how it's been. Is
Mhm.
well, so Made in Maryland actually came about because a bunch of people from Firaxis actually came to us and were like, hey, if you guys ever want to do stuff, let us know and we'll just give it to you. So that's sort of how the whole theme came about, because there are enough game studios in Maryland and enough games that have been developed in Maryland
Okay.
that
Yeah.
we could do a whole show based just on game studios in Maryland, and have an hour worth of material to play, and not have it all be Civilization, right?
Right.
But for stuff like, so for instance, we did a lengthy orchestral street from the Elder Scrolls 2 Daggerfall, because we didn't want to play anything by Jeremy Soule because that guy sucks. But we still wanted to feature Elder Scrolls because that's such a prominent franchise that has its roots in Maryland. So what I ended up doing was I reached out to the composer from Arena and Daggerfall, Eric Heberling, and I was like, hey, I'm an arranger with the Baltimore Gamer Symphony Orchestra. We would really like to perform some stuff from Daggerfall or Arena. So if you have anything, any resources, any past scores or anything that you would be able to provide to us, that would be great. Not really super expecting a response, because this is a guy who has been sort of out of video games for a long time. He actually writes music for like casino games out in Vegas now, which is weird.
Hell
Alright.
yeah.
We know a little thing about that from last week.
But he got right back to me and he was like, hey, I actually did this like whole orchestral suite of Daggerfall music, and it's never been played live, so if you guys want to do it, here are the files, have
Oh
at it.
fuck, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
So that was really cool. And same thing, like we knew Kingdoms of Amalur was co-developed in the state of Maryland. Obviously everything with 38 Studios happened up in Rhode Island, but it was co-developed by Big Huge Games, which is located right outside of Baltimore. So we knew that Grant Kirkhope had done the music for that game. So we just dropped him a line. We were like, hey, do you have anything from this? And he was like, yeah, here's the title theme. Have fun. Like,
Damn.
most game
You'd love to
composers...
hear it. Yeah.
Yeah,
all these
most game
games
composers, in my experience, have been very receptive to having their music played live. For example, more recently, I wanted to work on a piece from Paradise Killer. So I reached out to the Paradise Killer composer and I was like, hey, my band wants to do this. Do you have any scores? And he was just like, yeah, here are the MIDI stems for like the main theme from Paradise Killer. If you need any help, let me know, and I'm happy to help you arrange this. So
That's awesome.
Yeah, I
Mini
imagine
stabs
it's,
would be the greatest thing ever.
yeah,
It's
like
prob-
these guys, like none of them, they're big names to us. We can talk about David Wise or Grant Kirkhope or stuff like that, but it's not like these guys are household names. They're
that's
not
exactly
popular.
what I was gonna say. It's
They're
like
not-
it's pretty underappreciated medium generally, like big picture, I'd say. So they're probably just like, fuck yeah, that rocks. Like,
Yeah, that's basically it. Is like most of these guys, in some capacity, own the rights to their own music in some way, so they can at least grant approval to other people covering them. or to other people doing arrangements of them. So for me to reach out to a composer and be like, hey, my orchestra or my band wants to do this, most of these guys are just like super psyched that anyone would want to work on their music or would want to cover their music. So they're just like, yeah, fuck yeah, here you go, right? Like, which is really cool. So,
Hell yeah.
but then a lot of other stuff is like when I'm doing arranging is taking like a 8-part MIDI stem and trying to translate it to like a 50-piece orchestra, which is sometimes very difficult. But
I could imagine. So that's a lot.
Have you reached out to many Japanese composers before? I'm kind of curious if there's like a
not really, and a lot of that
difference
is
in their response.
a lot of that is simply because those guys don't have like they're not quite as accessible.
Right. Yeah.
You know, they don't have like a portfolio website that's like contact me for more information.
Oh
you
my
know.
gosh.
They're sort of locked behind several PR people who are all in Japan. So, yeah, I mean, shit, I would love to have worked directly with the Japanese composers for BGSO's show this season, which is like exclusively Japanese developers. Our show this season is called Console Wars, so we're doing exclusively mid-90s Sega versus Nintendo show, and I'm really excited about it. But it would have been nice to have the help of composers from that, because I gotta tell you, taking the fucking like 4-part MIDI piece from Echo the Dolphin and trying to translate it for orchestra was a very complicated math problem.
I
But
could
I'm excited
imagine.
for it.
Yeah.
So what other songs are you doing in this 90s console
Oh.
wars?
I'm happy to tell you. We're on
Yeah. Please.
I'll tell you almost the whole set list because I can't reveal the potential finale. So hold on, let me bring up my Google Doc that's got all this shit in it. On the Sega side, we're doing Toe Jam and Earl. We're doing
Yeah.
Echo the Dolphin.
Nice.
We're doing Fantasy Star.
Yeah.
We're doing Restar. We're doing Mortal Kombat, since, you know, was Mortal Kombat a Genesis exclusive? No, but Genesis was the better version because it had blood.
It had blood.
And then, of course, we've got Sonic. We've got a big Sonic medley. And then on the Nintendo side, we're doing Star Fox. We're doing Castlevania. We're doing Earthbound, which is appropriate for tonight. We're doing Pollyanna from Earthbound, which is super fun.
That's a good one.
We're doing Meridian Dance from Secret of Mana, which is going to be extremely challenging, and I hope we get through it. We're doing a Street Fighter 2 medley, which will have Ryu's theme, Ken's theme, and Guile's theme that I arranged.
Hot
and
guy theme.
And then we've got a Super Mario medley to wrap that up. And this is going to be a fundraiser show for the orchestra. And we are doing a choose your own finale. So we're going to have a Nintendo bucket, and then we're going to have a Sega bucket. Whichever bucket has more money at the end of it, at the end of the night, will have the finale. That will be who won the console war that night, and then we will do a themed finale piece for either Nintendo or Sega.
And where are you performing this?
This will be, I think we have a date. I think it's going to be May 21st, somewhere in the Baltimore area. Worst case scenario will be at the Stallers Point Multipurpose Center in Dundalk, but we're hoping to book a larger venue than that. So.
Well, that's rad.
Yeah.
I appreciate the insight. That's a lot of interesting detail that I was very curious about personally. So
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot that goes into arranging video game music. Like, I arrange for both the orchestra and then for my own band for Quicksave. Arranging for Quicksave is very easy because there's only 7 of us. Arranging for the orchestra.
Only
can be-
7.
Yeah, I mean,
verse 50.
versus 50. Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta start making up instruments at that point. Like, what else is there?
I mean, what's always so fun is like because we're an all volunteer community orchestra and we don't audition or anything like that. You know, we take anyone who wants to play. We end up with some weird instrumentation. Like we have 3 bassoons now, which is wild because I didn't know there were 3 people who played bassoon in the state of Maryland. But we apparently have all 3 of them. I don't know what I'm gonna do with 3 bassoons moving forward.
Yeah.
Shit like that, you know.
Well, congratulations on that
I'm
event.
speed running this fucking game.
You really are, dude.
Yeah, I'm surprised
Wait,
how fast
so
you
you're
got
just-
about all this.
You're
Eating
farming
Frank
master.
requires some grinding.
I fucked Frank's up, and all these bitches
you
are scared
all-
now.
Ever covered an entire game's soundtrack?
No,
Like,
we've
beginning
never
to end?
done like a full soundtrack. I'm not entirely opposed to the idea, but
If you had to choose one, what would be your first soundtrack to cover?
It's kind of like the "what would you want to see" question, but you got to answer it on the other side of things.
Golden Sun, for my orchestra, I think I would rather see something like
Chat
that's
has
a really
good
hard question.
What
Yeah.
what is a bassoon?
Oh, what is a bassoon? A bassoon is a reed instrument. Has a double reed similar to an oboe.
Ooh, a double one.
Yeah, you have to basically exhale like a jet engine to get any noise out of it. Yeah, a bassoon. What the fuck is an oboe? It's a shitty clarinet.
Follow up question.
Shitty clarinet. What is your voice?
Kyle's just gonna ask what a clarinet is now.
Dick make
Clarinet is a
noise.
gay saxophone. Yeah, bassoon
The doctor
is
from
just
Silence of the Lambs.
it's a
Hello, clarinet.
big.
You know what?
Imagine like a
Very cheap joke.
it's a big tube with a little tube attached to it, and
Fucking
it makes
trash.
very low doot noises. So yeah, I think for my orchestra, I would love to do something like Final Fantasy IV or Final Fantasy VI. Something that has like a really good variety of tonal qualities and atmosphere and whatnot. You know, in my heart of hearts, I would love to do Golden Sun, but I also know that Golden Sun is like a prog rock soundtrack, and I don't think I could subject these poor people to playing that shit. But yeah, if you wanna check out my orchestra and the stuff that we've done, you can go to youtube.com/BaltimoreGSO, and we've got all sorts of stuff in there. Norin was talking about The Last of Us, which is something that I arranged for a small ensemble a couple years ago when we had our online show for the middle of pandemic. So
Oh, and Air put some links in the Twitch stream for
yeah,
that.
thank you, Aaron.
Yeah, thank you. That was
That's
very
a lot of
informative.
great insight
Yeah, that's awesome.
on live music on the other end of things, as opposed to us just saying, "I'd like to hear Nintendo music played live." So
Well, it's cool for me too, like on a personal level, because I'm so familiar with like live music spaces of all sorts of colors and styles and what have you. But for being as into video game music as I am, it's just not something I've really brushed up against. In like my decade and a half or more now, because I'm getting old, of going to concerts like weekly. It's just not been a part of my life somehow. So it's very interesting to me.
Yeah, it's an interesting community, the like the video game orchestra community. Fortunately, there's a lot of stuff online that you can check out. Got all the Baltimore Gamer Symphony Orchestra stuff, but then there's like there's literally an entire online community called the Virtual Video Game Orchestra where people record stuff individually and people mix it together into these enormous arrangements. Virtual Video Game Orchestra is very cool. They've done Hollow Knight, they've done Abzu, they've done Final Fantasy XI, they've done Super Mario 3D World, a lot of really cool stuff. They're working on performing and arranging opening bombing mission from FF7 right now, which is really cool. But then like there's more official gaming concerts that can be found on YouTube, like the Sonic Orchestra last year was
That's
so
a really
fucking
good
cool.
one.
That's a really good
Oh,
one.
yeah.
Monster Hunter does one almost every year. All that stuff can be found on YouTube. Ace Attorney's done one in Japan every last few years. There's been like an official Undertale orchestra that aired, I think, last year or 2 years ago.
Yeah, there was like a
That was
3-hour Undertale thing.
Yeah.
That was so good.
Did you see
That was
the
very
shit
enjoyable.
with like the Pope coming out to get Undertale? Is that
What was
real?
it? Matt
Yeah.
Pat gave
Yeah.
the Pope Undertale.
And
Yeah.
then there was like some carnival playing Megalovania.
Yeah.
With the Pope there. Wild shit.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this video is definitely edited, but no.
Yeah, yeah. You could very quickly discern that it was not edited after like the first, a couple seconds of it. It's like, damn.
Let's drag some more people in for the end of the show.
Okay.
This is the part.
This is where it
Where-
all goes to shit.
Oh, shit.
We're already over an hour mark,
Yeah.
and I'm literally lighting up Earthbound right now.
No.
Hi everybody.
You
Did I
continue
think how many
the
people did I
stream.
just add?
I'm going about
Too
Yeah,
many.
here
good,
now.
Hello,
good,
hello.
so good on Earthbound, and then but we do have to end the show soon.
Yeah.
Oh, the dilemma there.
I just meant like for next time, you should just continue Earthbound.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Keep it going, yeah.
It is visually just a joy to watch.
Watch you beat up the cops and then dip out of there.
Yeah, I was really excited for that part, honestly.
I whoop those cops.
Wait, Shantic, are you around? Is Shantic
Number
around?
number one anti-cop podcast.
Oh wait, I have a picture before
Oh, no.
we wrap up because this is incredible.
Is it the Beautiful Joe 2 cover art?
No, it's actually a good picture.
You're not Ernie's Kearney. Oh no.
I hope it's not the Aramis slander that Jake acquired today about me and cops.
What'd you do?
There is something relevant. I suppose it's not that though, so I'll just leave that alone.
Yeah, you're burying yourself with that one,
Uh-huh.
but I can't. Where the fuck did I put it?
Oh no.
There it is. Oh god, it's huge.
Hey yo.
Cody,
Ass?
Cody, who
Ass?
couldn't be with us tonight, was repping the podcast.
That's Haunted Mansion.
God bless.
That's great.
That goes hard.
Oh, that's
So,
fantastic.
Oh my God,
Shouts
that's
out to
amazing.
Cody at the was it the Dua Lipa concert? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh
Yeah.
man.
biggest of shouts out, Cody. We're
What
thinking of
Dua,
you.
Dua Lipa recognized.
Mm-hmm.
Big
I'm
ass
so
Haunted Man.
jealous of Cody.
Either from the original film or from the podcast. Incredible.
Yeah, Dua Lipa's definitely a big ass Haunted Mansion enthusiast. So
I spent time inside the big ass Haunted Mansion just last week.
That's a dangerous thing to say.
That's Haunted Mansion.
uh-huh.
That's what she said.
Right?
That's what she said.
A thick ass Haunted Mansion.
Oh.
Big
Well, all
arse
these-
Haunted Mansion.
Can everyone just
What-
say? Hold, I'm gonna end this. Can everyone just say hi, Ernie? Go paint a ceiling or something.
Everybody say fuzzy
Hi.
pickle.
Hi,
Ernie.
Oh, look, Dad, I made it on the podcast. Let's go.
Before you end the podcast,
You got me before I did it this time.
I just wanted to make a comment. The one episode Joey is not here is the one where we can just say big ass haunted mansion and suffer no ill
Really,
consequence.
really, yeah.
No repercussions.
Joey is not allowed to say big ass haunted
There's
mansion.
all-
And from the big ass
Absolutely
content man.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you all for joining us tonight.